Luke here for Papa Bear Adventures. Welcome to part 5 of our 2023 PC build. Alright, we have got all the connectors off of the motherboard, all the power disconnected, and we're ready to prepare to install the board into the case. Alright, so this is where the case is going to go. This is where the motherboard's going to go. And the fan, the heat sink for the radiator for the CPU cooler is going to go up here. So we just need to make sure all of our standoffs are in the right place. And inside the case, there's a label here. It says any of the standoffs that are labeled A are for an ATX case, M are for a micro ATX, I for an ITX, and E for an extended ATX. So since we're using an ATX board, we're just going to make sure that all of the standoffs are in the appropriate spot with the A's. And these are the standoffs. There's some extras here. And basically they just make sure that all the solders on the back side of your motherboard don't actually touch the case. If they did, it would short out, and that would be very bad. So let's just make sure they're all in the right place, and we'll get that board in there. Okay, so I've counted 9 standoffs in place. 3 on the top, 3 in the middle, 3 on the bottom. One of which is just a standoff plug. Probably more crucial than making sure you have all the standoffs is making sure you do not have any extras, because that is where the possibility of shorting out your board is going to become greater. So we have the appropriate number of standoffs, and now I'm just going to, before putting the board in, I'm going to take a look at the case hardware and decide which screw I'm actually going to use in the standoffs. Now, it should be this pan-headed screw here. Just to be sure, I'm going to just put them in, test it just to make sure we got the right one. Yes, this is the correct screw. And this gizmo is supposed to magnetize your screwdriver, which should help when you gotta drop in the screw straight down into the hole. So having a magnetic tip makes it easier to get the screw down into the motherboard. Just makes life a little bit easier. Having the cooler attached to the motherboard makes life a little more difficult getting the cooler and the motherboard in the system all at the same time. But again, totally worth making sure that everything's working before getting started inside the case. One of the pins, as I mentioned before, does not actually have a pin. That standoff is your guidepost. Once you set it straight down on there, then you should be able to check all your other standoffs and make sure that there is a screw hole underneath every stand. And because we counted earlier to make sure we had the right number of standoffs, if there's a hole under every stand, we can be sure that we do not have any extra standoffs that could ground out and short our motherboard. Now when putting these screws in, you just want to put them in loosely at first. Until you get all of them started. And then, like everything else we've done, you want to go back and do a crisscross tightening pattern. Now I did have to stop last night, take care of the littles. So you may notice that the lighting is a little bit different today. And that's just because we are using some daylight instead of just artificial light. And I'm just going to make sure the I/O faceplate is in place. And then go ahead and tighten down the screws. Start it in this middle here. I'm going to cross over to the upper edge. And back to this bottom corner. And once all the screws are tightened, once more, again, don't have to go gorilla strength on these. Just want to make sure they're tight. And doing the crisscross pattern helps to make sure that they're tightened down evenly, causing less torque on the actual board. we'll be installing these ML120 RGB Elites as another source of intakes. So we do have the 3 front fans going to be intake, and these 3 back panel fans will be intakes. And then we'll have the 3 fans supporting the radiator as exhaust, as well as an exhaust fan for the back of the case. These are magnetic levitation fans. That's what the ML stands for. So they have extremely reduced friction. Should provide a longer lifespan and a much quieter experience. In the package, you do get, this is a 3-pack. It came with 3 of the 120 millimeter fans, as well as an RGB hub. Now this is the same RGB hub that came with the Corsair H150i, so I won't be needing this hub. And also the Airflow 5000D came with a similar RGB hub, which are taking up both of the USB slots on my motherboard. So the 5000D came with 3 AF Elite RGB fans, but I am going to go ahead and replace the 3 that came with 3 ML Elite fans, also RGB. And I will be using one of the fans that I'm taking out of the front for the exhaust fan. When installing the graphics card, you do need to install a anti-sag bracket with the included hardware. See, there's an additional standoff here, as well as here. Try to get a good view on that guy. There we go. And the anti-sag bracket will mount to that. And there's additional hardware that mounts to the anti-sag bracket, or that mounts to the GPU to keep it from sagging. So we'll get that installed now. truth. Power supply is engaged. No terrible sounds occurred. That was a good sign. And time to press the power button. All the fans are spinning. Also a good sign. We got a BIOS. Very good. So looks like the only board warning we got is the boot warning, which is to be expected with no operating system. So far, everything looks good. Of course, we have no drives because we're using M.2, and it is showing that guy. He's there. Temperatures look good. It's recognizing all of our RAM. Now, this is not the speed, but we'll address that after we get the operating system up and running. Now, it's only detecting the CPU fan and the system fan because everything else is running through the RGB system, so we'll see that here in the BIOS. And as you can see, I still have the sides and the front and the top of the case disassembled. I just wanted to make sure everything was still booting and working correctly up to this point. And we'll get started on getting everything updated. Get the operating system on there, update drivers, and then go through the process of getting the RAM speed corrected. Because I do have some littles running around, I'm going to go ahead and put all the casing on so that the risk of them damaging something critical will be greatly reduced. Thank you for joining us for part 5 of our 2023 PC build. As always, comments are welcome, and mind how you go.